Day 12. Dawn didn't really come. It just got a little less dark. The night had been the worst so far, and that doesn't mean much anymore because every day feels worse than the last. But this time, it wasn't because of noise. It was because of the lack of it. The low call from last night had echoed through the walls until it finally faded. Then came silence. Not a resting silence, a silence that waited. The woman barely slept, clinging to the notebook. I didn't sleep at all. The Tide Man, the speaker, spent the whole night making tiny, involuntary clicks with his tongue, even unconscious. Like his body had learned a language his mind no longer controlled. And now, in the morning, we had a choice. Follow the map to the North Corridor, the route for Day 12, or obey the rushed warning her husband had scrawled there. If they're standing still, go back. Did we go back? No, because the only people who turn back in this world are the ones who still have another place to go. We don't. On the way to the corridor, we passed streets where windows seemed to watch us. But on this particular stretch, there were no open windows, no curtains moving, no hint of motion in the glass, nothing. It felt like walking through a place people had erased from memory just to stay sane. She noticed it first. Do you see it? See what? There are no bodies here. I looked around. She was right. No corpses, no bones, no blood. No drag marks, like something had cleaned everything, or like no one had ever made it this far. On a pole, drawn in charcoal, there was a symbol, a circle, and inside it, an upside-down triangle. The same symbol appeared on 3 pages of the notebook. Her husband had noted. Silent passage sign. They don't touch who passes here. They wait. It could have been a warning, or an invitation. You never know which. Observation number 26. There is no safe street in the collapse. There are only streets that are waiting. The corridor was actually a narrow avenue between very tall buildings. So tall they blocked out light, wind, and sound. It was like sticking your head inside a vertical grave. And they were there, the infected, not running, not hunting, not wandering, standing, on their feet, looking at nothing. Some with heads tilted, some turned away, some kneeling, like they were praying to something that wasn't there, and all of them, absolutely all, in silence. The kind of sight that makes your mind try to bargain with reality. Why standing still? Why together? What are they waiting for? She swallowed hard. They're aligned? I don't know. This isn't how they act. This isn't how anyone acts. The notebook said, they stay like this before some kind of command. I didn't read that part out loud. We took the first step into the corridor, just one, and a sound came. Not from outside, not from any infected, but from inside the corridor itself. A low moan, slow, deep, like the concrete itself was breathing. The infected shuddered all at once, barely, like leaves in a wind that wasn't there. They felt that, she whispered. Felt what? Whatever that sound is. The moan came again, longer this time. And then the name of the place made sense. Corridor of Groans. The infected weren't moaning. The place was. The walls, the echo, or something underneath the ground causing it. And they were answering to it.
Rule número 27. Every place that breathes is trying to warn you about something. If you ignore a warning, you end up breathing for it.
The goal was simple on papel, reach the other side without touching any of them. Average distance between each infected, 1 to 2 meters. In any normal scenario, that would be impossible, but they were switched off, or better, waiting for signal. We walked into the corridor slowly, every step deliberate. I went first, she followed, pressing the notebook to her chest like it was armor. That silence hurt in the bones. Their breathing was almost inaudible, almost not human, almost synchronized. But the worst thing was this. Their eyes didn't blink, not a single one. All glassed over, staring at nothing. Not natural, not even for the infected. They looked like they'd been shut down by a command that just hadn't been reversed yet. She got too close to one and froze. I turned to her slowly. "Breathe slow," I whispered. "I know. Don't let the fear spike. I know." But I could see her eyes. Fear was there, in both of us, and it was dangerous. Because if the adrenaline smell spiked, the sniffers in the back row would be the first to wake up. We moved on, step by step, until one infected did something impossible. It moved its eyes. The rest of the body stayed locked. No neck turn, no deeper breath. Only the eyes shifted, tracking us from the edge of its vision. I leaned toward her. "Don't look at him." But he, "Don't look." We kept going. The deep moan rolled again, stronger. The vibration came up from the ground, running through our legs like the concrete was trembling. And then, one of them shifted. Barely. Millimeters. But enough for her to trip on her own fear and almost make a sound. I grabbed her shirt and yanked her upright. The infected stilled again. It sensed something, but didn't react. Not yet. The corridor narrowed. More infected. More unblinking eyes. A silence sharp enough to cut. Halfway through, we noticed something else. They weren't just scattered. They were positioned. Geometric. Geometric, a formation. Triangles, lines, equal gaps between points. As if someone had arranged them. Not by accident, by intention. And the feeling in my gut just repeated, this isn't wild. This is organized, planned, taught. Near the end of the corridor, a different sound bled through. A groan. Human. From behind a broken column. She moved toward it. I grabbed her arm. No. It could be someone needing help. It could be bait. She hesitated. Then the groan came again. Weak, almost a muted sob. She looked at me. I have to see. For reasons only people trying to survive will understand, I let her go first, slowly, threading between statues still infected. She rounded the column and froze. My God, I joined her. It was a man, tied up, gagged, legs broken, skin torn, and around his neck, tied with thin cord, a metal object, a whistle. Not like the ones the other group used, bigger, heavier, built for lower frequencies. When she pulled the gag off, he spoke in a shredded voice. They left me here. Who? The ones who call. Why? To see who comes to help. He coughed blood. They study human reaction. And you? He stared up at the slice of invisible sky between the buildings. I'm a note. A note? They call me emotional response. And then he said the sentence that cut right through me. If you made it this far, the experiment goes on. She went pale. I hoisted him as best I could. Are they coming back? I asked. He pointed to the trembling ground. The moan is the warning. His eyes filled with tears. The next one is the command. And like the universe loved cruel timing, the corridor's groan changed. It wasn't low and slow anymore. It was double. One quick, deep pulse, followed by a longer one. Double, low. The sound the notebook said to run from. Out of all the sounds we'd heard so far, that one felt the most wrong.
Rule number 28. If you hear the double low, don't run. Fly.
The moment the double low rolled through the corridor, something happened that should never happen. The infected blinked. All at once. Right after that, they drew in a long breath, like a crowd waking from the same trance. The wounded man tried to scream, "Run!" We didn't think. We moved. I threw him over my shoulder, the woman sprinted at my side, and behind us the corridor exploded into motion. Footsteps, scraping, moans, bodies slamming into each other as they started to run, chaotic but fast. They saw us, and they followed. The once silent corridor had become a river of enraged dead. We tore between buildings, dodging rubble, slipping in dust, with dozens of bodies pounding the ground behind us, running with hunger and with orders. The entire corridor felt alive, right on our heels. From the rooftops above, something answered the double low. A long whistle. Too long, too loud. Not human, not dead. Something else. The wounded man shook. "It's the caller." "Who?" "The caller below," he sobbed. "You shouldn't have heard that sound." It wasn't the time to understand. It was the time to exist 30 seconds longer. We vaulted a bent metal gate, raced up an outside stair, crawled through a broken window, shoved an old cabinet against the inside door. Outside, the corridor howled. The double low echo pulsed through the city like a heartbeat. I don't know how long we stayed there, breathing in the dark, but the moment my hands stopped shaking, I wrote, Day 12. The corridor isn't just a passage, it's a ritual, an observation point, a field test. They were waiting for a command, and when the command came, we were in the wrong place at the wrong time. She blew out the last candle. They weren't sleeping, she said quietly. They were waiting for someone to say it was time to wake up. Outside, in the distance, the double low sounded again, and everything answered.